Hey everyone, it's Mel here and welcome back to Mel's Blind Life, the YouTube channel all about blindness, and welcome to this video that I've been promising you guys for I don't even know how long. I'm going to show you how I make a tuna and rice casserole. This recipe is fairly easy. It's fairly simple. All you need is basically to be able to use an oven, to open a whole bunch of cans, to have a method of identifying the whole bunch of cans, and to be able to use a microwave. But of course, before we get started, we're going to worry about some personal hygiene. I'm going to tie my hair up and I'm going to wash my hands. Alright, now that my hands are clean and my hair is out of the way and therefore hopefully not going to get into the casserole, we're going to do the first part of making this recipe, and that is that we're going to get the rice started while we're identifying all the rest of our cans. So I've got here my rice. It's just a bag of white rice, nothing too exciting, just plain and boring. This is a brand new bag, so I'm just gonna open it and pour it all into a container, and then I'll show you the first step. Okay, so we're ready to get started now. We have this here container of rice, and we have this here microwave safe container. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 1 cup of rice, and I'm not right-handed, so this isn't actually very easy. We're going to get 1 cup of rice. I'll just change hands and do it with my proper hand. There we are. I hate working with rice because it goes everywhere. There we are, 1 cup of rice. And we're going to tip it into the container here, there, and then we're going to get a cup of water. So we'll go and get a cup of water. Just a moment. So we have the rice actually sitting in the bottom of the sink at the moment, and I'm going to put 1.5 cups of rice in water into the rice. And I'll show you that in a second because I don't have enough hands to do cameras and rice and water and everything. So now I've got my rice and my water in my bowl here. I've put 1 3/4 cups of water in my 1 cup of rice. And now I'm going to stick it in the microwave. Like so, and I'm just going to put it on microwave for 13 minutes. If you're wondering how do I use my microwave, all of the buttons, I don't know if you can see there, have got braille on them. So now while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and start identifying the cans that I need for the casserole. I'm not going to be able to put them all in the container yet because I need to put the rice on the bottom, but I'm going to identify them and get them all opened and ready to go. And this here is my little mate who's going to help me identify aforementioned cans. This is my barcode This is my barcode scanner. It's called an ID Mate Summit. I will link in the description down below to the ID Mate. So what this does is this scans the barcodes of stuff for me, of cans, of packets, of whatever, and it will tell me what it is, and I'll be able to make sure that I get the correct thing out. Now, I actually cheat a tiny bit with this recipe because when I go to the supermarket, I buy all of the stuff for this recipe at the supermarket, and then when I'm putting my supermarket order away, I do tend to put the cans for this recipe away together. So I'll show you the first few cans that we've got. There's a couple that I need to use the ID mate to identify, and I'll show you me identifying them in a second. So the first thing that we've got is a can of sliced capsicum. We have a can of champignons, pieces and stems. And of course the most important thing is we have a can of John West tuna light in spring water. But there are a couple of things that I haven't got in that little pile there that I need. So we will get Mr. ID Mate here to help us identify those things. So I've got 3 possible matches here for what I want. There's 2 cans that are decidedly shorter than the third, and I'm actually wondering whether the one that I want is the tallest. So we're going to switch him into ID mode, and we're going to put him on the bench here, and we're going to put the can in front and turn the can until he sees the barcode and identifies the product for us. Normally you would probably hold the ID mate to the can, but because I'm filming for you,
orange and thick chopped garlic and basil 410 G.
Okay, so that's not what we want. Thick garlic and basil, that's a soup. Let's see what the tallest can is. Sometimes it's very hard to find the barcode on these. Sometimes you do have to spin the can around quite a lot and wriggle it about. Come on. And like I said, normally you would hold them up and, whoops, he's gone to sleep. Normally you would hold it up, but because I'm filming for you guys, can't do that. But I'm going to have to move a bit. Up. Nope, that's sweet corn and chicken soup. That's not what we want either. So hopefully it's this one. Let's see what this one here is. Typical. You can't find the name of it. So let's see whether it's one of the other cans in the pantry. So it's, oops, sorry, hand over the camera. It's very frustrating when things don't go right. For some reason, he wouldn't identify it. So I've just rung up Ira and got them to identify it. So I'm going to see. Oops. I'm going to record the label. Item not found. Cream of mushroom soup. Okay. Cancel. Make sure that that worked. Oops. Didn't do it right.
Press the erase button again to delete the following message. Message erased.
There we go. So I'm going to identify the can.
Item not found. To record, press and hold the record button.
I'm going to press and hold the round button here. Cream of mushroom soup.
Cream of mushroom soup.
And now next time I do this recipe, I will be able to identify the cream of mushroom soup through the recorded message that I've just done on the barcode scanner. So the last thing that we're going to find, we've got our cream of mushroom soup, our tuna, our champignons, and capsicum. Now we're going to go over to the little fridge and we're going to find some peas and corn. Okay, so now we've got all of our ingredients. The rice has just finished. We have got some frozen onion, frozen peas and corn, and once again our cream of mushroom, our tuna, our champignons, and our capsicum. So what I'm going to do with this lot is I'm going to grab a ovenable, I was going to call it, an ovenable container casserole dish. So we have here our ovenable casserole dish. It's kind of a shallow one, but it's pretty good size. And what we're going to do is I'm going to grab the rice out of here. And of course it's quite warm, and that's why it's in this special container, because the outside of the container doesn't get warm. I'm going to take this over to and of course, because it's been in the water's almost all dried out, I think. I'll double check again before yep, the water's pretty much dried out. So I'm going to tip the rice into the casserole dish, one-handed, which I'm not very good at. So now that the rice is in the dish, I'm going to put a handful of peas and corn, handful of onion, and all of these cans into the casserole dish. Stir them all around, and I'll see you in a minute when all that's done. There's something that I've always been terrible at doing is using a can opener. It is not my strength. I have never been good at using a can opener ever, which is why I love the champignons and the cream of soup, because they have a ring pull and you don't have to use a can opener for them. But the tuna and the capsicum have got no ring pull. So I have to use a can opener, which I'm, as I said, very, very bad at. Which I'm not going to demonstrate because usually it ends up with me swearing. So I'm not even going to put it on this video, but I'm just saying I hate it. And the other thing I wanted to point out that I forgot to mention a minute ago was also that the champignons and the capsicum and the tuna have a lot of liquid in the can. So before you tip the contents of the can into the casserole, you want to make sure that you drain all the liquid off. So now everything is in our casserole dish. It looks pretty gross probably because everything's literally just sitting on top there. But before we stir everything together, we're going to turn on our oven. So we're going to go over here to the oven. We're going to turn it on to about 180, I guess, which on my oven is about 7 o'clock, I believe. And make sure that there's nothing in there, like a baking tray. There we go. And so that everyone can see, I'll turn on the light in the oven, I think. So now while that's preheating, I'm going to just stir this all together and make it all mixed and everything. So we are now all nice and stirred. And you can see that I've stirred out onto the bench, so I'm going to have to clean the bench. So I've stirred it and I've flattened out the top, which is going to be important for later. So we're going to now come across here to the oven, put it down, open up the oven, put the casserole in the oven. We're going to talk to our friend over there in a sec. There we are. Okay, Google. Set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, and that's starting now.
So, those 25 minutes is obviously going to give me time to clean the bench and put all the rubbish away and everything like that. And then I'll show you what we do in 25 minutes time. Okay, Google, stop. So that was the, oh, no light, sorry everyone. That was the timer going off for the 25 minutes. So we're gonna go over here, back into the kitchen, and I'm going to grab from within the depths of the freezer some lactose-free cheese, and from within the depths of the oven I'm going to grab the dinner. I'm just going to clear off the stove top, make sure that I can put the dinner on there. So this is what we've got at the minute. It's coming along pretty nicely. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my spoon here and I'm going to stir it, and then I'm going to put a layer of cheese on the top. So now we've got the cheese on top, and it's I've stirred it and I've leveled it all out again, and as I said, I've put the cheese on top, and we're gonna open the oven back up and put the casserole back in the oven, and we're gonna go for about another 15 minutes until the cheese is cooked and melted on top, and then we should nearly be finished. So, okay Google, set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and that's starting now.
Very good. So my alarm has just gone off on my Google Home, and I've just got the dinner out of the oven. Let's have a look. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I did wash my hand before feeling this, by the way. So the cheese feels fairly nice and crusty on the top there, just how I like it. Now, you don't have to put cheese on this if you don't want to. I do, I like it, but if you're not a cheese fan, you don't have to put the cheese on top. My mum, when she cooks this, she actually puts the cheese through it as well as on top of it, but I just like it on top. It's really up to the chef how you choose to do it. So this container will probably make about 3 to 4 serves, depending on how big a serve size I make it. And I will be able to put the remaining serves into containers in the fridge and just get them out and heat them up at a later date. It freezes really well. It's a really tasty, healthy meal. It's got peas, corn, onion, capsicum and champignons in it, so it's got plenty of vegetables in it. Obviously it's got tuna, so if you're a pescatarian, or even if you are a Catholic and you want to have it on a Friday, you can. I was planning to cook this on Good Friday this year, but I never just got around to it. So it is a really good meal. It's really easy. You don't have to chop or dice or slice or anything like that. So it's a good easy meal to make if you're not a competent cooker, or if you don't cook very often, or if you just want to knock something up really quickly and get cooking out of the way. So I hope you have enjoyed this video tonight, this recipe. I hope you've learned something. If you have, that's fantastic. If you've got any comments or questions, please put them in the section down below, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.